In a big pine tree, there lived a young squirrel named Sue. She was full of energy, always hopping around, gathering nuts, and playing games. But there was one thing that Sue didn't like: listening to anyone older or younger than her. She would roll her eyes when her parents asked her to help around the tree, and she didn't care what her teachers or elders said. Even her little brother, Timmy, would get annoyed when she ignored him or made fun of his ideas. One sunny morning, Sue's mom asked her to gather some acorns for winter. "Sue, can you help us collect acorns today? Winter is coming soon, and we need to prepare." But Sue just laughed. "Why should I? You can gather them yourself, Mom. I have my own things to do." And off she ran, leaving her mom with a frown. Later that day, Sue's dad told her not to climb the tallest tree because the branches were weak. "Be careful, Sue. That tree is too dangerous," he warned. But Sue, feeling like she knew best, didn't listen. "You're always worrying too much, Dad. I can handle it," she shouted as she climbed higher and higher. Then, as she reached for a particularly shiny acorn at the very top, the branch snapped. Sue tumbled through the air, terrified, and landed right into a little pond below with a splash. She came up sputtering, her fur all wet, but thankfully unharmed. As she shook off the water, Sue noticed a group of elder squirrels watching her. One of them, Old Nutty, shook his head. "Young one, you didn't listen to your father. That was a close call. We elders may seem boring to you, but we've lived through things you haven't yet." Sue didn't know what to say. She felt embarrassed and ashamed, but it didn't end there. As she walked back home, she saw Timmy, her little brother, struggling to carry some acorns. He tripped, spilling them all over the ground. Sue almost walked past him but stopped. She remembered how she never listened to him or helped him. "Need some help?" she asked quietly. Timmy looked up in surprise. "Really? You're going to help me?" Sue smiled and started gathering the acorns with him. As they worked together, Sue realized how nice it felt to show respect, even to her younger brother. That evening, as Sue sat with her family, she apologized to her parents. "Mom, Dad, I'm sorry for not listening. I understand now that you're trying to help me, and I'll try to be more respectful from now on." Her parents smiled warmly. "We're proud of you, Sue. Respect is about understanding that everyone, whether older or younger, has something important to share. And by respecting others, we learn and grow ourselves." From that day on, Sue became known as the most thoughtful squirrel in the pine tree. She listened to her parents, helped her elders, and even played kindly with her younger brother. She had learned her lesson the hard way, but it made her kinder and wiser in the end.
Why is respect important? Respect is like showing kindness and care for others. When we respect someone, we listen to them, treat them nicely, and follow their advice or rules. Why should we respect people who are older or in charge? Imagine playing a new game for the first time. Your older brother or sister might already know the rules and tricks because they've played it before. Just like in games, older people, like parents, grandparents, teachers, have been through things we haven't, so they can help guide us and teach us new things. People like parents, teachers, or police officers give us rules to follow, not to be mean, but to make sure we are safe. When we respect them and listen, we can avoid getting hurt and stay out of trouble. It's like when you respect the rule to wear a seatbelt in a car or not run across the street without looking. Imagine if your teacher trusts you to follow the rules. She might give you more responsibilities, like helping out in class or letting you choose a fun activity. When we respect others, it shows we are responsible and can be trusted. If everyone respected each other, no matter how old or young, it would make everyone feel happy and cared for. Think about how nice it feels when someone listens to you or helps you out. Respecting others brings more kindness into the world, and everyone feels good.
Sushi the Sleepy Cat. Once upon a time, in a cozy little house, lived a small white cat named Sushi. Now, Sushi was a friendly cat, always ready to play, but he had one big problem. He never went to bed on time. Every night, Sushi would pretend to be asleep until his parents left his room. Then, as soon as the coast was clear, he'd sneak out from under his blanket and start playing quietly in his room. Sushi had a secret stash of toys, tiny bouncing balls, squeaky mice, and feathers on strings that he would play with for hours. He'd bounce on his bed, chase shadows on the wall, and practice his best cat flips. Just 5 more minutes, Sushi would say to himself, every single night. But when morning came, things got tricky. Sushi would drag himself to school, his fluffy white fur all ruffled and his eyes half closed. During math class, instead of counting mice, Sushi was busy counting Z's. His teacher, Mrs. Whiskers, would call his name. Sushi, what's 2 plus 2? Sushi would mumble, nap plus more nap? The class would burst into giggles, and Mrs. Whiskers would shake her head. Sushi, it's 4. At lunchtime, while all the other kittens played soccer or tag, Sushi could be found snoozing on a bench, using his backpack as a pillow. Even when his best friend Mia tried to get him to play, he'd yawn and say, maybe later. When he got home, things weren't much better. Sushi's mom would ask him to help set the table, but instead of plates, Sushi would put down pillows. His dad would ask him to clean his room, but Sushi would just curl up in the laundry basket and fall asleep. Sushi, his dad would say, you're supposed to be folding socks, not sleeping in them. After a few days of being too tired to do anything fun, Sushi realized he was missing out. This is no fun, Sushi thought. I'm too sleepy to play, too sleepy to learn, and too sleepy to help. Maybe staying up late isn't such a good idea after all. That night, instead of staying up and playing in his room, Sushi decided to go to bed on time. He brushed his whiskers and his teeth, curled up in his bed, and whispered, "Good night, toys. I'll play with you tomorrow." The next morning, Sushi woke up feeling amazing. His whiskers were perky, his paws were springy, and he didn't feel sleepy at all. At school, Sushi answered every question right. No more mixing up math with nap time. And at recess, he ran faster than ever, winning every game of tag. When he got home, he helped his mom set the table, using actual plates this time. From then on, Sushi made sure to go to bed on time every night. He realized that sleep wasn't just something boring grown-ups talk about. It was the secret to having the best day ever. And every night, as Sushi snuggled into bed, he smiled and said, "I'll play tomorrow, but first, sleep." Joe, the Bored Donkey. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a little donkey named Joe. Joe had the softest brown fur, big, curious eyes, and the longest ears that twitched at every sound. But there was one problem. Joe was always bored. Every morning, Joe would wake up with a big yawn, stretch his legs, and look around. "What should I do today?" he would ask himself. But no matter how hard he thought, nothing seemed fun enough. One day, Joe went to visit his friend Bella the sheep. "Bella," he said, "I'm so bored. There's nothing fun to do around here." Bella giggled. "Joe, there's plenty to do." You just need to look around. Come with me." So, Joe followed Bella into the meadow. They trotted past colorful wildflowers, fluttering butterflies, and chirping birds. "Look at all the beautiful things around us," Bella said, hopping around. "We could race, or play tag, or even make flower crowns." Joe sighed. "That sounds fun for a little bit, but then I'd get bored again." Next, Joe decided to visit Max the dog, who was always busy guarding the farm. "Max, do you ever get bored?" Joe asked. Max shook his head. "No way, Joe. I'm always doing something important. Guarding the farm, herding the sheep, or chasing off pesky squirrels. Maybe you just need to find a job to do." "A job?" Joe thought about it. But what could a little donkey like him do? Determined to find out, Joe wandered further up the hill to see Ellie the wise owl, who lived in an old oak tree. "Ellie, I'm always bored. Everyone says I should find something fun to do, but nothing seems interesting for long." Ellie blinked her big golden eyes and smiled. "Joe, sometimes it's not about finding something to do, but finding joy in what you're already doing." Joe tilted his head. "What do you mean?" "Well," Ellie said, "what do you enjoy? What makes you feel happy?" Joe thought for a moment. "I do like exploring new places and meeting new friends." Ellie nodded. "Then why not try that more often? There are always new things to discover if you look close enough." The next day, Joe decided to put Ellie's advice to the test. He began by walking a new path through the village. Along the way, he met a rabbit named Ruby, who showed him the best place to find sweet berries. He helped an old horse named Clyde carry a cart full of apples, and he even found a little stream where he could splash around to cool off. By the end of the day, Joe was tired, but for the first time, he wasn't bored at all. He had made new friends, discovered new places, and felt helpful along the way. From then on, Joe realized that there was always something fun to do, as long as he kept an open mind and a curious heart. And whenever he felt boredom creeping in, he knew just where to look, in the world around him.
What is boredom? Boredom is that feeling you get when there's nothing you want to do and everything seems a little dull. Maybe you've played with all your toys, read your favorite books, or just can't think of anything fun to try. It's like when your mind says, "I'm tired of the same old stuff." But here's the cool part. Boredom doesn't have to be bad. When you're bored, it can be a chance to use your imagination and think of something new. You can make up your own game, build something with blocks, or go outside and explore. Sometimes, when you're bored, you notice things you didn't see before, like a butterfly in the garden or a cool cloud in the sky. Boredom is like a little reminder that it's time to try something different. And who knows, the next adventure could be right around the corner.